Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. We're going to jump into another formation, and it is single back doubles. And the first play we're going to go over is PA corner stop. So what you see on the screen, is it a progression replay or a coverage replay? It is a coverage replay. Okay, so we're going to have to pre-snap read, post-snap read to optimize the play and where we go with the ball. If you're not too comfortable with coverage reading, then just stick with the progression read type plays. But I can assure you, if you try to learn how to coverage read, you can get really damn good. Now, I like to say the stuff I give, guys, I like to give you information that you can take with you forever, right? So, when you learn like how to coverage read and pre and post snap read and stuff of that nature, that's stuff that you can take with you in Madden 24, 25, 28, it doesn't matter, right? As opposed to just learning gimmicks. Hey, if you do this with this player, it sucks up this player because the game isn't coded right, and then we can get this bomb over the top, things of that nature, right? I think you should learn more so in terms of concepts, how plays interact with defenses. So, at the end of the line, if they ever do get Madden correct in regards to coding it as close to as possible to real football, you can be just dangerous, and learning this now, you can be dangerous in current Madden against a lot of gimmick players and still dominate, because I know I do, right? It's just a good feeling when you learn stuff as far as concepts and you know how to attack, how to defend, and things of that nature, okay? So obviously what you see on the screen, 422031, you guys know what this is. And here's the beauty of this play. It's good against every single coverage with the exception of two-man, right? So this is a rare thing. Usually when you run into a play, maybe a play is only good against 4-2-2, right? Maybe a play is only good against cover 0. Maybe a play is only good against 3 and 1. Very rare to run across a play that gives you options against every single coverage family, right? And obviously different variants of these coverages may be designed to specifically stop that play, but that's only in an instance where you're running that play over and over and over again. Now your opponent knows how to adjust to it. So let me just get right to it. Okay, so basically with this play, we're going to have a very deep post pattern, and we're going to have a corner stop. This player, he's going to block, and we're going to have a corner stop with our outside #1 receiver on that side, okay? This is a play action play. He's going to leak to the flat. Quarterback's gonna fake and set up for the drop. Okay, so basically with this play, the pre-snap read, you want a pre-snap read, and if it's double high, we're gonna stay in this play. If it's single high, we're gonna make an adjustment. Okay, so I'll get to that soon. Okay, now as we see, it's double high, so it's 4-2 zone, 2-man, or cover 0, and then what we do is we look at the corner on the outside. Now this corner you really can't read because, again, as I've stated before in other videos, whenever you stack formations or condense the splits, it's easier for the defense to disguise coverage, right? So this guy will not tip the hat of what the defense is actually running. Corner on this side will. Now you don't see it now because I don't have it zoomed out, but I can assure you that this is cover 2 zone. But in 2-man, as you know, let me draw the receiver. Pretend this is the receiver. You guys know the pre-snap read in cover 2-man. The corner would be inside leverage on the line of scrimmage, right? So that's how you can tell from this play when you come out whether it's 2-man. And the reason why we need to know if it's 2-man, because if it's 2-man, we need to check out because this play doesn't provide ample options to deal with 2-man. So this is 2 zone, and against double high, here's the reads on this play. Against double high, as long as it's not 2-man, right? Cover 4 or 2 zone, and I'll get to cover 0. We're gonna read this player post snap. Okay, post snap, we'll snap the ball, and if he widens the way he usually does, because of this route on this side, then we can get a really big play with this deep post pattern, with this deep half safety playing towards this side of the field. So let me go ahead and snap the ball against 2 zone. Snap the ball. We get our eyes on that player, and right here we notice that he's a little shallow. He's not getting depth. He's a little wide here. Okay, so this is where we can throw that deep bomb to our splitting post. The reason why this works is because, again, this is a split field defense, cover two. This side of the field really is kind of independent of the other side of the field. And this safety has rules, right? So, you know, in a typical world, you would think post snap, he's reading these players, this unit. And if this guy stays in the block, well, the only threat on this side of the field really is the number one, right? So I would assume that's why he doesn't continue to get depth, because of the route that stops on this side of the field. And that's where we can sneak with this post pattern over the top. Really, the only thing that can get in the way against cover two zone is if this player were to ride inside and play very well on that post pattern. But again, this is where play action comes into play too as well, where you're trying to get these second level defenders to sit up just a bit, so you know we don't have that problem. And this is one of the things I love about the Vikings playbook from what I've seen, and it's kind of highlighted on this play. A lot of these routes, these guys are running these routes at such deep depth, right? Usually on plays, let's say, you know, an ordinary play from a different playbook, you have like a deep in pattern. It's not really even like a deep in. They're running like 10 yards on their in pattern. And what's the problem with that? Well, the spacing is pretty horrible, right? So you may have a play action tethered with that play with this in pattern, and we're looking to get these linebackers to draw up so we can throw it behind them. Well, the problem is they're not running at a deep depth, right? So even if we bite a little bit, we can still get in the way of this window. As opposed to some of these plays in this Vikings playbook, I've noticed that these routes are running at such a deep depth that if these guys bite at all, it's just, there's no way they're going to get in the windows of these throws. And then we kind of throw off our user as well, because he's just not used to routes being ran at such deep depths. Okay, so let me snap the ball. This is the replay. As you snap the ball, you're keying that safety, making sure he just doesn't get in the window here. And as long as he doesn't, and as long as he doesn't get depth, that's when we can launch it for that throw. Okay, so the reads on this play, again, double high, as long as it's not two-man, key this player, 1 to 2 to flat. The 2 is that corner stop. I think I showcase it here. Snap the ball. We're just going to pretend that this safety actually got in the window over here, or got really big depth with this linebacker in the window for this post. And I want you to see how this corner stop route just gets wide open due to the safety getting threatened up the field, and this cloud flat not having enough depth to get in the window of this. And then we have a flat attacking underneath, so he has to somewhat respect that. Okay, so now I'll show the replay real quick so you can see how it develops. One more thing, with the play action, the footing, your drops are directly tethered to your routes. So like if you have a short play, you have a 3-step drop, you know, a medium-sized play, you know, at medium depth, a 5-step drop, deep throw, 7-step drop. On this play, I'll allow the play action to finish, and then I'll drop back like another 3 steps because of how deep this play goes down the field. Okay, so I think I showcase it here. I actually don't. So we can just look downfield. And again, if he gets in the window here, it's where you go to 2. That's your corner stop. So this is against cover 2 if they turn match on. So the only difference really you'll see here is he'll actually ride inside hip of this player for a deeper depth. But again, nothing changes with our reads. Post snap, we're reading that safety. As we see here, he has just underneath into the outside, so we're able to fit that in there. So get used to reading that player. As long as he doesn't continue up the field, you have a shot to make this throw, right? So it's a little tight, but you get used to making this throw on this play. You know, it looks beautiful. So this is cover 4 match. So again, nothing changes. This is what's good about this play. The read, pre-snap, okay, double high. Is it 2-man? No. Okay, we can stay in the play. We're gonna snap the ball and read this player. We snap, and we see he sits flat. So right away, that's how you can kind of tell it's cover 4. And now that means we can hit over the top here in most cases, and we make the throw. Replay, get a feel for what he looks like post snap. As soon as he's here, we know automatically now we can read 1 to 2, knowing where we will go. But right away, I know I'm going 1 based upon his movement. The only reason why you wouldn't go 1 after seeing that he's sitting flat is if this player is playing deep into the inside and just takes this route away. That's when you would get your eyes to 2 and 3. All right, so this is against cover 4 drop zone without the match. As we see, nothing really changes. We can still read this player. And let's just say we're not comfortable with making this throw. Then we can get our eyes to 2 and 3. Right here, we see that 2 has inside position. And that's a throw you got to get used to. But again, everything just looks pretty when you get in tune with this offense, okay? So now we're going to look at single high. Now remember, pre-snap read, single high. Now we know it's cover 3 or cover 1. And there's an adjustment that we make with this play against single high. What we're going to do is we're going to motion our deep post pattern to the outside, and we're going to change them to a go pattern. And that's it, right? That is it. You'll see it here. And that's it. Pretty much what we're reading on this play is 1 to 2. Now, if they press with single high, I like to do 1 to 2 to 3, because if it's cover 1 man, then you might get a deep outside release with this player getting wide open. Maybe not so much wide open, but you can make the throw outside shoulder. But if we snap the ball and they're bailing, that's when you know, okay, go through with my reads 2 to 3. Okay, so this is against cover 3, and I want you to watch how these second level defenders are nowhere close to being in the path of the throw to be made to that corner stop. Snap the ball, we know it's zone, and look at the window here. So I'm pretty sure you can tell why we motion him out there. That deep third corner, we run him out of there. This guy really doesn't make a play. He's curl flat, he's hook curl, but there's just no way, they don't get enough depth and width to get in the play of this throw. And then the play action also helps as well, just in case, to kind of hold them as well, right? So against cover 1, I show you here, snap the ball. Okay, so we're reading. You can make this guy 1 every single time, right? And just quickly get your eyes to 2. You don't like it. I really only look at him if it's press. Snap the ball, and you have to get used to throwing this against man. Right about here is where you throw it. And as you see, play his money against that as well. So I want to showcase, so we know cover 4 it's good, 2 zone it's good, 2 man it's not, 3 and 1. I showed you how to attack with these, I showed you how to attack with these, and now cover 0. Okay, so the good thing about this play, it's 6-man protection. Remember, he's staying into block. Okay, so if they're bringing 6, if we can get a hat on the hat, that's where we can attack downfield, right? Deep post, corner stop, going to the outside. As you see here, we can still read the same player, make sure we're good in protection as well, and there you go. It looks really good when you get it down. Here again, pre-snap read. Now, how can we tell it's cover 0? Well, right away when you see these guys at 10 yards or this safety further outside, that's how you know it's cover 0. My guy decides to press. One thing I want to let you guys know, the 6-man protection with play action, you really can't set pass protection. So obviously, wow, I still have to make videos on pass protection. So it's a lot of stuff to go over. But with pass protection, whoever you set as a mic, it kind of dictates how the pass protection will set up. Well, what I've noticed with play action pass protection is it doesn't matter who you set as the mic, they're going to block the way that they're going to block, right? So what does that mean? That means we have no control over how they're going to block certain fronts. So this play, you have to check out against certain fronts where this pass protection will not pick it up. So far, what I've noticed is when they're in an even front like this, you know, we're good to go with the blocking scheme. I think the one front that I think you do have to check out of is when they're in like a bare front. Okay, so I won't get too deep into detail with that. At the ball, you can look at this guy. Second he steps over, right? We can make this deep bomb against cover zero. Now, when I play against cover zero, I really don't read the backside safety. I like to just be looking at one guy. I think my guy quit right here. Yeah, he had enough. I understand. Right? I think this was more so one of my practice games where I started picking up the scheme and I just wanted to run this play over and over again or multiple times. And again, what we see is cover zero. So like I'm saying, when I know it's cover zero, I really don't read this player, right? I just pretty much know that's where I'm gonna go, and I read like 1 to 2. Okay, so here I should have made this 3. Yeah, so this was definitely a practice game because I was just getting into this play. As you see, I threw to number 2 as opposed to 1 who's wide open for a touchdown, right? But you know, it's good to put this in here so you can see that that corner stop still can get open against man coverage. This looks like cover zero. I check into the play. And look at that throw. So I want you to know when you run a particular play action, so this is cover zero again. Okay, and let's say you keep this guy in the block. A lot of times what the player who's assigned man-to-man with him, they will play deep middle, right? And that just kind of ruins throwing post against cover zero if you decide to block to throw that post. But what I've noticed with this formation and a lot of different things with the Vikings playbook, with these reduced splits, you know, this safety really doesn't get in the way of that deep post pattern or the defender who's supposed to defend the tight end. Not the ball. Yeah, this is 2-man. So I wonder what happened here. Where is that 2-man? Let's go back. I think this is some type of blitz. So this is exactly what I was saying. He's man-to-man with him, but because he stays in the block, then he zones out, right? But being the fact that there's only 2 receiving threats on this side of the field, he doesn't really get in the window of that deep post pattern. We snap the ball. Look at the nice pocket. We launch one. And we pick up touchdown. All right, so this is single high. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna motion him out, send him on a go pattern. And we see that they're in press. So I can read 1 to 2 to 3. Don't like 1, throw 2. There it is. I just love everything about this play, guys. It's I mean, this is a play that lets your opponent know that at any moment we can go deep down the field. This looks like he checked into cover zero. So I checked into the play. And look at wide open that is. Again, if you don't know why post patterns are good against cover zero, go check out my series on how to beat cover zero. I have 3 videos on that. I can make more, but I think 3 is enough. There's other ways to beat cover 0. This looks like single high, so again, I make the adjustments. With the press, it could be cover 1 man. And yeah, so look, as you see, I think this is cover 3 with a zone blitz underneath, but they convert into man. As you see, I like how we have inside leverage here, and I want to keep it a little bit more inside. I think I barely missed this throw, but I think this video is good to showcase to you, dealing with cover 1 man. So I was doing pretty well anyways. So it was cover 1 man. Single high again, same deal. I guess I'm showcasing you the different runs that we tether with the play. And as you see, so I'm glad I put this in there. You see how he's so afraid of that deep pattern, all these deep routes. He's just highly concerned with that. And now we have a run that looks exactly the same. And look at how the floodgates are let wide open. And then we get an unrealistic come from behind tackle by number 33. So this looks like cover 0 again. Pre-snap, 10 yards off coverage. Safety's a little bit outside. Snap the ball. And as you see, I made the right decision. I probably ran this a couple of times in this game. Look where this guy's going, right? So again, 1 to 2 to 3. Could have went to 3. No, okay, so we see here. We throw 2. Look at how methodical we can be with this offense. It's a big play. Couple more here. Looks like some type of cover 0. So it's double high. Definitely looks like some pressure. Snap the ball. And look at wide. So, again, use your free form. This time I left it a little further inside and over the top because I'm unafraid of this guy making a play on the ball, being that he got burnt so badly. And we just barely missed the throw, right? So I think I'll leave it at that, guys. PA corner stop. Definitely implement this into your scheme if you're trying to deal with the Vikings playbook. I'm just amazed at how creative this playbook is, how different it is in regards to the rest of the playbooks. One main difference is how deep some of the routes go, so we can kind of avoid second level defenders in zone. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you keep coming back.